PGA Tour, along with the DP World Tour and the LIV Tour, will unify to form a larger, singular commercial business. To a man, they were shocked and angry. As one top 25 major champion told me, I literally don't have words. Lesson learned here. Take the money. Don't do the right thing.
ESPN Scott Van Pelt, through his own reporting, tore PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan to shreds.
How much of this was to avoid protracted litigation? I have to believe some, maybe a lot. And there are a lot of layers. But when Monahan invoked the same grow the game line we rolled our eyes at when players went to LIV, it's the exact same reaction. We understand you took the money. It's the same money that you forbid your players from taking.
100% accurate. Monahan provided plenty of chatter that was anti-LIV, and now he is selling out his own players who remain loyal. Let's be clear. This is what a public backstabbing looks like at the highest levels of sport. There was reporting of a players-only meeting, and the majority were less than pleased. Many said they felt betrayed by Monahan, and when the commissioner was asked if he felt he had been transparent, he admittedly said he was not. One veteran said the players were 90-10 against the merger. Another veteran within the golf game told Golf Digest the following: there's a lot of disappointment today. What I have been told by my peers is that they feel betrayed right now. There must have been 20 to 25 guys who used that word in a very tense, heated moment. Rory McIlroy, a man who ripped LIV and remained defiant in his support for the PGA, got into a back and forth with 227th ranked Grayson Murray, who shouted for Monahan to resign, saying, "We don't trust you, Jay. You lied to our face," wrote the Telegraph. McIlroy allegedly yelled back, "Just play better, Grayson," which was viewed as a defense of Monahan. Golf Channel first reported the exchange, and another source has confirmed to Telegraph Sport that Murray responded by telling McIlroy to F off. Now, if you're wondering who the hell Grayson Murray is and what he stands for,
these police shootings have got to stop, but gotta have the butt.
That's the backspin, like
the fidget spinner of racism. But these police shootings have got to stop. But the way they will is stop being a threat to them. Obey the law, and I promise you will live. Damn. Black people.
Deezus Amaro will fill you in. Another player on the PGA Tour, Ryan Armour, would say this: for a year and a half now, we have been told how evil certain golf leagues are, how evil their funding is, and where it's coming from. No financials have changed hands yet, but the mood in the room is that guys feel used.
But I can tell you this. The two times that it was mentioned that there needed to be a change in leadership, both of those times got standing ovations inside that room. And I think that says something.
What struck most and aged ever so poorly was Jay Monahan's interview he gave to Jim Nantz last year at the Canadian Open. Nantz referenced a New York Post story about the 9/11 Families United Coalition sending letters to the agents of a handful of LIV golfers expressing their outrage toward the golfers for participating in the new league and accusing them of sports washing and betraying the country. Monahan said, "I have two families that are close to me that lost loved ones. My heart goes out to them, and I would ask that any player that has left or that would ever consider leaving, have you ever had to apologize for being a member of the PGA Tour?" The word slimy feels like it doesn't even do justice at this point to describe Commissioner Monahan. To use 9/11 families as a defense for yourself, to use them essentially as pawns, to prop yourself up as the moral high ground, and then to do this, I reiterate, a backstabbing. At the same event, he said, "Listen, I think I've been pretty clear on this. I don't see a truce happening. When you look at where we are and you think about words and actions, we're currently in a lawsuit, so coming together and having conversations, to me, that card is off the table, and it has been for a long period of time." Another quote that simply aged like milk.
And Rory can say, "No, give me some of your golden parachute because you sold us out." That's what they can say to each other, and probably will, whether it's publicly, privately, or over social media on Twitter.
Then there was Terry Strata, who you're seeing on your screens right here, of the 9/11 Families United. She would then speak with CNN. ripping the commissioner.
Everyone is feeling the same way, outraged, disappointed, angry, disgusted that Monahan could now sell the PGA to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, knowing that they are culpable in murdering our loved ones. He used the 9/11 family's storyline, our pain and our suffering, to promote his choice to say no to everything about LIV a year ago, and now, like you just said, a complete 180 and saying that, you know, this is going to be good for golf, this is going to be good for our players. He sold out every single one of us. He turned his back on the 9/11 community, and he sold out his players, his fans, the golf base, the American people. And for what? What changed that he decided to do this and take a stand with the kingdom and against the 9/11 families? It's despicable. He's disgusting. He really is the lowest, you know, scum of the earth at this moment.
As would Bryson DeChambeau.
They're accused of financing terrorism. They also are accused of killing a Washington Post reporter, Jamal Khashoggi. How do you feel knowing that that is where the money is backed by?
They are trying to do good for the world and showcase themselves in a light that hasn't been seen in a while. And nobody's perfect, but we're all trying to improve in life.
And to that, I say this. Bryson, they murdered a journalist who was critical of them. They have executed 81 people on a single day. They have tormented, tortured, and killed those who simply oppose their regime. The LGBTQ plus community dies at the hands of this regime. Those who advocated for women to be able to drive in their country were then imprisoned and tortured. And what Bryson DeChambeau is doing is telling you, sell out. Take the money. The money's good. Why should I have any morals whatsoever? Come on, they're trying to be a force for good.
You said something in a Sports Illustrated interview, and you just said it again this morning. What happened to Jamal Khashoggi is awful, but I've seen the game of golf, the good that the game of golf has done throughout history. No matter how successful this tournament could ever be, it can't counteract someone being murdered, can it?
We heard all of this nonsense, and we covered it with a close eye last year when all of it came about. We fact-checked Bryson DeChambeau. We fact-checked Dustin Johnson. We fact-checked Phil Mickelson. Because no matter how much good this country and the PIF and those in charge really say that they're about, having American golfers nonetheless carry the water for their own for their own regime, to do this is another moment of sports washing. And Bryson DeChambeau is just carrying it out. He's a loyal foot soldier for millions of dollars. Forgive them. They're a force for good, but also I'm just going to take the money. And how I view this is Bryson DeChambeau has been groomed by the Trump family as he has been a loyalist to them, celebrating win after win with Eric, Don Jr., going on the course with Donald Trump Sr. He knows how this game is played, and he knows how rich he can get from it no matter who he sells out, because that is what he is doing. He is selling out you, he is selling out me, and he is selling out every single American at this point. To say anything otherwise is preposterous. And here's the other part. I don't think people understand how much money Saudi Arabia has. They just bought an entire sport. They bought Newcastle United. They have dipped their toe into racing. They have dipped their toe into horse racing. They have dipped their toe into boxing. This is all a part of MBS's Vision 2030. And it is working. And on top of that, Yasser Al-Rumayyan said in a TV interview, "We are interested in all sports, not just golf, not just soccer or basketball, but many other sports. Given all the acrimony between the PGA Tour and LIV, the Tour seemed likely to resist Saudi sports play. That's why this deal is such a stunner. Golf couldn't resist the cash, which speaks louder than any human rights group." On top of this, the PGA Tour will keep their 501c status. Al-Rumayyan, meanwhile, will join the PGA Tour Policy Board. And all litigation ends. Jay Monahan, now CEO of the new entity. When people ask, what is the price? Look no further than Jay Monahan.